Hello, boys, babes, and all of you beans in between. Welcome back. You can hear all the noise, can't you? And a glow squid. Hello there. But we are at the mob farm because I got it working. I fixed it up over the break, or off my off-screen now, actually. But if you cannot tell, hold on. Let's jump in the water and give us a fly up. Farm's working great. It is doing its job mighty fine. We can watch all of the mobs fall. My redstone clock right there is running and making this thing work like a charm. And I have literally AFK'd here for a maximum of like 15 to 30 minutes. If you ever need a farm and you have the extra resources, this is the farm I strongly recommend. In addition to the fact that I put it right here, equates to axolotls are constantly murdering things, so I am constantly getting goodies from the murdering. So, plus side, free goodies. Other news, I will be building a sugarcane farm here in the next, hour or so while this thing is running, because sugarcane is going to be a bare necessity just for everything I need. We're going to make a super simple module of one of the designs that Tango Tech uses. Super compact, super easy. You can put them together back to back to back. But in all truth of the matter, I probably only need maybe 3 modules to run just as much as I need it to. But as you can tell, we are chucking along. Soon I'll be able to have TNT and stuff for other farms, which would be super, super sweet. But to be completely frank, I'm probably not going to need to use the farm again for a while. A good while. In this section right here, I put 1 extra in because there's an often occurrence of miscellaneous drops that come through. Sometimes there's chicken, sometimes there's other feathers, stuff like that, because of the chicken jockeys that'll spawn. So I set that up, but I also know full well that I will have to sit here and sort it out as I use the farm, which is fine. That's not a huge deal, honestly. But as you can tell, I need to desperately clean up my mess. But the farm is working phenomenally, and I am loving it. It does its job. It does its job like it's no one's business, and I absolutely adore it for what it is. So, once again, check it out. I put the link for it in my last video in the description. So, if you want to try this farm yourself, highly suggest you do. That's the rough directions I got from that one, and then proceeded to adapt them to myself. But we're gonna head back over to the village so I can show you what I've been working on over there. Alrighty, so there's windows, there's things around the windows that make them look not so flat, and there's more windows in this one, and there's leaves decaying because I apparently cut down trees recently and forgot about that. But yeah, so those look, it makes the building feel alive. It feels alive. It feels so much more alive than it did earlier, and I absolutely love it. It is kind of goofy, makes the inside significantly brighter and lighter. This one, I added a couple more too, just around. It's easiest looking from the inside, but I think it makes the whole space just feel bigger, which great in the long haul, I think, personally, but I love how it is coming out. We got this up here, which honestly, it all looks super, super good in my opinion. So, let me show you the other building really quickly, and then we're going to move on with our next project for the day, which involves roads. We got to make this area feel like it's lived in. But let us show you what else we got. So, as you can tell, most of these just got shutters just because it is more of a lookout building and not something that particularly needs detailing. But this just feels so much bigger now that the windows are in. Same here. These windows are much higher up. All of them in this building are kind of high up just because it is a work lookout area. So when I do interiors on here, there's going to be platforms that raise you up to these points to see out into the harbor and to see out into the town. So that was intentional with the design there. These are at the eye level just because it's a shorter room, but you can see out into the harbor. You can kind of see out there towards the lighthouse. Not exactly the best lookout point, but you can see the majority of the town from up here, or at least what we have of the town so far. But I think it's coming out really, really well, and I think that overall this whole thing looks super, super cool. But before we move on to the roads, which I really wanted to go ahead and do, I do want to go ahead and point out one thing. I'm still in 117. This world is still in 117. And we gotta fix that. So, I will be expanding the border to this world for the next episode. Not this time, because we're gonna get the roads in, get this work done, make some more progress on this build area, and get our base of operation more set up. But I will be expanding the world border by at least 2,000 blocks so that I have space for the 118 update. In addition to when 119 comes out, that will also get a border expansion. So we're about a month and a half behind on updating this world, because when I first started it, I wasn't very far into it when the 118 update came out. So in exchange of, instead of just jumping straight into it after not having much of my area established, I chose to wait. So because we've waited so long and now I'm better established, I'm better geared out, I still need to get netherite for the rest of my tools, but we are significantly more established in the world, and I think overall it's going to be a lot better to now expand. But we're not leaving this area. I'm not done here. I love what I'm doing here. I also recognize the fact that I'm going to have to adapt the way I build to the 118 update, because for the most part, I have not built in the 118 updates. I've done some cave projects, but like outside of that, I have just been working on 117 for the most part since then. So we are going to expand the border once again, but we will not be moving out there except for to do some smaller personal projects that are inspired based on the biome locations that I find. So we will continue to build this city up. Like, we're going to have the road that comes through here, and once I terraform some more, it's going to come up and into here, and we'll have more houses and buildings and stuff out here to work around with. In addition to the fact that I actually built the dock system all the way out to this point, so like obviously we gotta have a house out here where the dock can connect to and make sense for it to be, and we gotta have like little fishing huts, and I really want to have some smaller like neighbor-sized homes that are over in this area, which I think, excuse me, I fell, would be super, super cool. So we are gonna have to get more work done on this, but for the next episode, we will be in 118. We were gonna go load in the entire new border at that point so that we can explore and see what super cool stuff's up there. And we can mark down those coordinates for fun side projects when I need a break from these designs. So that's what we're working on there. But before I can do anything with that, I'm gonna need some more of these blocks. Gravel's not terribly hard to get. A little annoying to gather, but it's fine. Tough. We need tough, because I want it to be our road and pathways in this. So we're going to be getting some tough, some more gravel, possibly some andesite to mix into it further down, but that is what our main roadway is going to be made out of, mixed in with some brick and crackstone brick, and obviously andesite. I already said that, but those are going to be our block texture palette piece for that. So I gotta go get those blocks, and I'll bring y'all back once I have them. Ooh, sunset. Alrighty, so we have started to dig out a path for this, but the problem I've now run into is I have yet to actually plan what the texture out here is going to look like, because we have two different textures that are very, very different right here. We have a very clearly marked out, much nicer looking brick pathway that connects into this much more dirty, muddy, something's been dragged in, it's older, they haven't fixed it in a while kind of path. But I don't want to do something that's exactly the same for the both of them. I want to go ahead and mix them. I want it to look like, yeah, they redid it recently, but not as recently as the last one, and so it is a little more broken up, a little bit dirty. So, we have the materials on us. Let us really quickly fix this inventory disaster that is my pockets. Let's grab a couple things, because we can. Where is my crafting bench? It's over there. So that we can go ahead and look at some slabs, so it's a smooth and flat surface that we can walk down easily without having to jump, because that's one of my least favorite things when it comes to building, is having to jump through areas. The downside is none of the blocks I used for the interior are slabs, so that is going to prove to be a little bit of an issue, because when we come to the transition points, it's going to be all andesite and all regular stone. But let's see what we can do. And then the gravel. Where's my gravel? Alright. And then let's mix in some of these. And then this. Cool. Throw in some cracked bricks. Yeah, it looks like a nice road. Not nice, but a little bit dirty of a road. Definitely is giving the appearance I want it to. The question is, will I come back in later and add gutters on it or not? But I'm not sure. So let's go ahead and get moving with the rest of this so that it has a transition point downward. I need some dirt. That's what I need. Let's go grab some from over here because I know there is some. But I would like to get it down to at least here and connect that building to it, in addition to getting it far enough down that I can start making a kind of square or area that people can hang out in. So I'm going to get back to work on this, and then I will show you guys once I get it done. Alright, there we are. That's our road first worked out. It's a bit straight, not really wobbly or anything, but it doesn't really need to be based on where it's currently sitting. I will definitely say that the reason I left the circle right there in the center is because I'm going to do a giant custom tree here. We are in a spruce forest. It would make sense that they had a large spruce tree that lives in the middle of their town. So I think that we will do a nice custom tree there. I will also eventually be needing to terraform this. Professor has a lot to say about this. But terraforming it this way so that I can put some sort of house over there and have a small road that comes out that way. And the main road's going to eventually curve out and go that way like we were talking about earlier. So each of these now have connections to this. The one thing that I realized I am massively missing is something to go right here. And the most logical thing I can think of that would fit right here supernaturally is a really quick mine shaft. And mind you, I need a mine shaft anyway instead of diving underwater and going through that ravine that I've been using. So I think we are going to make a really quick mine shaft entrance, use something similar to that design that I initially had done for the doorway on that building, and we are going to make us a nice mine shaft. So I'm going to get that moving. I'm going to time lapse it so y'all can see it, and I'll show it to you when it's done. May not have fallen into a cave that I've apparently been in before while trying to make this mine shaft go down. So let's fix that. That was a lovely fright. Goodness gracious. not the prettiest thing. It definitely still needs detailing. I think I am going to make it look nicer eventually, but there is now something there. It's very bulky in its shape right now, but I think if I do things like taking a bunch of this cobble and stacking it up out here, it'll make it feel like it's in use and not like it's just here to be there. So if you do something like that, it makes it look like it's bringing up the supplies we are looking for as we mine, that kind of thing. So like we can pull some gravel out and stack the gravel up and make it look like the gravel's been pulled out, and the diorite, which obviously I can get more of all of these things and make the piles look a little bit better, but it makes it look like we are pulling those things out of the ground, and it's making it look like it's in use, which I really, really like. I will eventually come in here and make this floor a nice like stone brick and put stairs down this, in addition to having like rails on each side so that we can easily get up and down without having to do the jumping, because the jumping sucks. But we will definitely put powered rails up the sides and down the sides and stuff like that so that we can easily get to the top and the bottom quite quickly without using water elevators, because while those are super, super efficient, they do not look very good. So I think this is looking absolutely wonderful. And I'm going to grab a couple more materials to stack up and make it look a little bit nicer, but I wanted to show it off at this point, and I'll bring it back in just a moment. Alrighty, there we go. I think it looks pretty snazzy. The gravel and the diorite have gotten bigger. We have a little bit of coal here. I'm definitely going to add to that more later once I have some more ore just floating around. I don't want to put all the walls because I do want to have some built into the walls, make it intentionally look like, yeah, no, this is a productive mine. So I think this overall looks super, super good, super cute, super nice. I honestly think the whole village is starting to look great. I am going to have to come back in and rework the lighting. I think we're going to have to end up building a guardian farm over at one of the temples that are around here so that we can hide some sea lanterns under some moss and stuff, which we will be mixing in out here just to change up the grass color. But the other thing I want to hit really quick before we wrap this all up entirely is I want to show you guys the house over here. And I know it's not actually growing as quickly as everything else over here is, but that's intentional for the sake of the production I'm doing with it on TikTok. But I think it's coming out as super, super cute. The design of it is something I absolutely am adoring so far. The concept behind it is it's this old boat that was pulled out of the water. I am going to come in and alter it some more so it has a little bit more coloration than just the oak and the spruce that is the main parts of it. But it was pulled out of the water and they attached it to this house, so it's part of their house. And I think it's super, super cute, honestly. This makes a really cool lookout point for everything that's out that way. Just turning off everything else on it and being able to look over there is super, super cool in my opinion, especially with the boats out in the water. Sadly, you can't see. Let me see if we can bump up my video render distance, because you can't really see my tiny fishing boat over there too well. I can't tell if it's out of render distance or behind. Oh, it's behind my other boat. Yeah, it's over there behind the other boat, which I love. But, and then this part's the actual house, which I think the color scheme of it is much brighter and happier and super stinking cute too. Yeah, there's the little fishing boat over there. But I gotta figure out a boat I'm putting here. And I am not confident as to what type of boat I'm going to be putting on here. Part of me says another little fishing boat or a dinghy of some sort, but nothing nearly as large as that one that's right there, or as large as the logging boat that I have over there. But if you have any suggestions for boat type, I'd love to hear it, because I gotta figure that out. That's something I am definitely gonna have to build for one of these videos instead of on TikTok. But I think this whole area is coming along nicely. It's super cute, and I absolutely love to see it grow. But unfortunately, that is where we have run out of time for today, because this video has got to come out. So, I will see you guys next time. Bye now!